Morning, guys. I didn't do an intro from Ransomville. Today is technically Sunday. Connor's washing his race car because he raced last night. Hey, Connor, how much money did you win last night?
$550. I won.
Yeah, he officially has won more money this year than me. I mean, I guess you got to be proud, right? Well, we're here washing this up. We went to Ransomville Friday with my car, and it went pretty good. They do a handicap now, and since I technically won the first two races, I had to start. I think I started 6th place in the heat race and worked my way up to 2nd, and then in the feature I started 8th. And there was a lot of traffic, and we only managed to pull off a 4th. But it's really good GoPro footage, so it should be entertaining to watch. We'll do the heat race first, and then onto the feature, and we'll come back after the feature, and we'll talk a little bit more. Enjoy. What's up, guys? Real quick before we get started on this week's episode, I want to take a minute to talk about W Energy. I'm one of those guys that was hooked on those, cans of energy drink from the gas station. Those things are like $3 to $4. Pretty expensive, just not good. So I was looking for something else, and I don't like coffee. So W Energy is what I found. Now, before I could tell you guys about this, I had to try it. So I got some of this Oda's Restore Potion. This stuff is really good. And this little tub equates to about 30 drinks at just over $1 a drink. So significantly cheaper than stopping at the gas station. Now, of course, you got to mix it with water, which adds hydration to it. It's not just some chemical mix-up in a can. It's water. With a little bit of powder, you shake it up. So on top of the Oda's Restore, I picked up a sample pack. The sample pack came with Dragonade, which was good. It came with the Push and Punch, also delicious, and the Big Energy Tears, which is also great. The nice thing about this is it's not super tart or super sweet like a regular energy drink. It's you mixing it with water. It's the flavor's really good. It has great flavor, and it's about 150 milligrams of caffeine, so that's nice. The sample pack comes with 3 flavors, and then you pick your shaker. So if you wanted to try it before going ahead and buying a whole tub, that's an option. I think it was like $14 or something like that for the shaker and the sample pack that you can try. We need that hydration and focus and energy before we hit the racetrack, and this is a good option. So if you'd like to try this, go over to wenergy.com, and when you get to checkout, put Brad46 in the coupon code for a 10% discount. That's Brad46 in the coupon code for a 10% discount. Enjoy the episode.
Get it? I love it. I love it.
As you can see, the car is on the lift. It's all cleaned, of course, as you know around here. The car gets cleaned the day after racing. So you can give it a once over and make sure everything's good to go for next week. Because we don't work on the cars at the racetrack unless we actually break something. That being said, during the feature, I could feel a vibration. About halfway down the straightaway, RPMs are getting up there around 7 grand. There was a rattle and a shake. And I could tell it was coming from the front end, and I had a pretty good feeling it was coming from the right front. So the first thing I did was bring this thing in here and get it up in the air. And as soon as I started to lift the car up with the lift, I noticed this right wheel didn't quite look right. And if you look real closely, I mean, you got to squint. That's not how it's supposed to be. The strut bolts came loose on the spindle. So we had a little chuck and weave there. On top of that, we also have a oil leak going on over here. I don't know if you can tell that on the camera. We've been fighting an oil leak on this side of the motor all season long. We replaced the seal on the balancer. I've checked bolts on this timing cover. I'm not sure what's going on here exactly, but I'm annoyed and I'm kind of at my wit's end about the oil leaking out of this side. It doesn't take much oil to make it look like a lot of oil. So, I mean, it's not excessive, but it's leaking all over the belt. It's making a mess of this corner of the car. So this week, before we get to next weekend, we're obviously going to fix this strut. I made the mistake of not welding the nut on it when we slotted it. So that's obviously why we have so much play. It loosened up and it moved. I'm surprised I didn't feel it on corner entry chuck over it as much as movement as that thing has. Has. But we're going to fix that. I'm going to swap the single fan out for a dual fan because it's running like 240, 245 degrees. I don't like that. I'd rather see it down around 230. So we're going to address that issue by putting the dual fan in, and then we're going to lower the cradle down with the motor, and I'm going to swap this whole side. I'm going to take the timing cover off my spare motor over there and the balancer, and I'm going to change everything on this side of the motor, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that will fix our oil leak. I can't speak today. What is going on? Hopefully that'll fix our oil leak. So, a little bit of work to do this week, but this is why you wash it and you get it in and you check it, the day after the race. I also have to fix the flex pipe coming off of the back of the motor, off the header there. We've got the top of it's got a crack in it. So the car is about twice as loud as it normally is, and the exhaust, when you're sitting in the chute, is actually coming up around the front of the firewall and right into the cabin. I can smell it. So we're going to take care of the flex pipe, hopefully fix this oil leak. We're going to put the dual fans in. I'm going to weld some washers on this strut and tighten it back up so we don't have this issue here, which will hopefully take care of that vibration that I was feeling. Hopefully. I really hope that's what it is. It was probably the axle that was vibrating, but because this wheel was doing whatever it wanted over here, I might swap that axle out, just peace of mind. I don't know. We'll see once I start getting stuff apart here and get a better look at it. But we got some work to do this week, a little more than usual. So we'll address this, get this fixed, and then next weekend, I'm on the fence about racing. We can go to Ransomville. They're running Friday. 4th of July show, should be fireworks. I don't know. But hopefully you enjoyed this week's racing. It was some pretty good YouTube footage. GoPro footage is what I meant to say. I really can't speak today. Anyways, as usual, keep it creative and happy building. Thanks for watching.